Ratko Mladic, the butcher of Bosnia, will spend the rest of his life behind bars. In June, a UN tribunal upheld his life sentence for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. The former Bosnian Serb commander was convicted of terrorizing civilians in Sarajevo during a 43-month siege and overseeing the killing of more than 8,000 Muslim men and boys in Srebrenica in 1995. The judge's decision confirms the key role Mladic played in some of Europe's worst atrocities since the Second World War. While the victims' families welcome the ruling, they say the fight isn't over.
Mladic's conviction doesn't end everything. We will just have to be louder and louder. The person who gave the comment has been found guilty, but those who carried out the genocide are still walking free.
For many, Mladic's crimes are so grave that no punishment could possibly make up for the horrors carried out by his forces.
Mladic should be condemned by all responsible officials in the former Yugoslavia and around the world. His name should be consigned to the list of history's most depraved and barbarous figures. This is not a judgment against the Serbian people, who Mladic and his supporters have manipulated for decades. Mladic's guilt is his and his guilt alone.
Just weeks later, the UN court took further steps to bring justice to major role players in the Balkan Wars, sentencing 2 former aides of Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic. Jovica Stanisic, who headed up the State Security Service, and his subordinate Franko Sematovic were handed 12-year sentences. The 2 were convicted of war crimes for financing and equipping Serb militias during the breakup of the former Yugoslavia. They were also found guilty for their role in the ethnic cleansing campaign that left thousands of people dead and drove 340,000 from their homes.
The trial chamber is satisfied that the accused provided practical assistance which had a still effect on the commission of the crimes of murder, forcible displacement, and persecution committed in Bosnia.
Milosevic himself died behind bars while on trial for genocide and crimes against humanity. As justice is meted out to those responsible for the atrocities, new victims are still being identified 3 decades later. They are buried in Potachari, in eastern Bosnia, a memorial cemetery where more than 6,670 people have been laid to rest. This year, the families of 19 victims gained some closure, but hundreds of others are still waiting for their loved ones' remains to be found. Sena Saylan, TRT World.